This is RedTrack, Vlad from RedTrack. We are gonna start our webinar soon. Waiting for a couple more people to join. If you can use chat and tell me if you can hear me fine, please do so. I can type here if you can hear me fine. Good. Thank you very much. So you can hear me. I guess other people, all the attendees who sign up will join as we'll go. Let me grab my assistant phone, so if my team will tell me something, I'll see it, and we start. So the goal of the webinar today is to not to tell about RedTrack, but more to tell about our experience with automation media buying, and also with so fancy and catchy phrase of AI. So this stands for artificial intelligence. And let's start with our first part is what is actually AI, artificial intelligence in media buying. You hear quite often like bid optimization, AI-based bid optimization, AI-based traffic distribution, AI-based smart links, AI-based something else. But honestly, and we try to show things how they are, there is not actual artificial intelligence anywhere in all those subjects. In reality, there are either machine learning or even simpler things like scripted automation rules. And why is that? The reason is very, very simple. If we talk about media buying, the whole process that typically happens in campaign creation and management, we can split it into very simple and distinct parts. The first one, campaign creation. All this is about making sure that you add your creatives, you set your bids, spending models, you set your targeting. And seldom you can get help from machine learning or, I don't know, artificial intelligence or even rules, because nobody but you knows your campaigns and your targets and your bid strategies better. Yes, you can accept suggestions, but practice tells that good media buyers prefer to do this manually. What they want to do is automate copying the campaigns from traffic source to traffic source. Then, when campaigns start to show first results, what do? You do three things, at least based on the feedback of people we asked. You blacklist placements, you pause or change creatives, and you pause or stop campaigns. And this constitutes almost 80% of the activities for optimizing campaigns. And if you can share in chat if it's the same for you, or you do something differently and you do some other actions with campaign optimization often, like on a daily basis, please share. You can do it in our chat and it would be nice to see. And while you share, I'll tell you, then sometimes when you see that these simple things are not working, you basically reorganize campaign. You either pause it and start from scratch, or you're just targeting, you adjust bids and spending models, you totally change creatives. And so, as you can see, the first step, we think people prefer to do it manually and just use some tools to scale the launching of these campaigns across multiple traffic sources. For the second step, in most cases, you can come up with simple rules when you want to blacklist a placement, or when you want to pause campaign, and when you want to pause creative. And you know this rule. So for the last step, campaign reorganization, that's where the real thinking process happens. You analyze data, you make decisions, and you make those bigger changes. And in this step, but probably any system can help you with suggestions, just because machines can process more data points than humans at a faster time frame. But that's it. All three steps, campaign creation, campaign optimization, and campaign reorganization, require, except maybe blacklisting placements, require human assistance. Even in this step, campaign optimization, human assistance is needed to create those rules, because no two campaigns are the same, and something that works in one case would not be the best solution in the other case. So since human assistance is needed, since actually there is no artificial intelligence as it is, or it's very unreasonable to implement it, we decided to speed up the future and automate things that actually can be automated. I guess you already know what are they, but we also had some, I can say, scientific foundation for what we did. And I guess most other companies will follow the same route very, very soon. So what is automation media buying is about? Everything is in managing campaign is about making changes. All your management goes down to making changes, and you make those changes based on the decisions you make, and decisions you make based on data that you have. So the quality of your campaign management largely relies on the quality of the data you have, and you prefer to have all the data you need real time, preferably aggregated or processed, or in other ways useful for making meaningful decisions fast. And surprisingly, I'm not sure how many of you heard about this book, Scientific Advertising, published 1923, almost 100 years ago. Can you write, please, in chat who has heard about this book before? I'm curious, how many people ever heard about this book? Okay, I see raised hands. Good. Thank you. The best part about the book is it's now available free. You can just Google for the book name Scientific Advertising, and you'll find it online. I strongly suggest you read this because surprisingly, for the last almost 100 years, nothing has changed in media buying. Approach remains the same, although channels and tools are now very different. The whole book is about making experiments. So, and based on the results of those experiments, you can optimize your campaigns, basically making changes across multiple traffic sources based on unified sets of data, so those decisions are relevant. And automation is only when those changes are made based on rules created by you, because you as a media buyer usually know best what will work for the particular campaign. And now the biggest question, why we as a RedTrack decided to go this way, and where would the trackers stand in? So the trackers are important because they are the tools that collect, process, and consolidate data for you across all the digital advertising events that happen between the impression that you get in contact with your potential user, the customer, and the conversion goal. And so there can be multiple paths to your conversion goal. And it's the purpose of the trackers to collect all this impression, consolidate it, and provide to you the data real time so you can make decisions. Big question here, are those trackers like RedTrack relevant and required to manage campaigns? Of course not. I mean, people managed campaigns way before there was even Google. I did that myself. And people still manage campaigns without trackers and do fine. Why? Because if you buy in 1 or 2, maybe 3 traffic sources, all those campaigns have sufficient tools to help you optimize your media buying activities within one traffic source. So the problem comes in when you buy media in multiple traffic sources, or your funnels are very difficult to, what our customers now say, stitch together. So basically, you know what happens in traffic source 1 with all your clicks, but you have no idea what happens at your goal stage. And it's very hard to connect the clicks that you paid for money and goals that happened elsewhere. So that's the only 2 cases when you really need the tracker. 1, when you have multiple traffic sources. 2, when you need to stitch the funnel and connect your click data to your conversion data. So having said that, the trackers create an opportunity for optimization of your campaigns at scale, just because they turn into a single place to collect all your advertising campaign data, all your conversion data, unified in one place and preferably real time. At this stage, you now need less people who know how to manage Facebook or AdWords, Google Ads, Ref Content, Bing, but you need people who can analyze data and deduct meaningful decisions out of the data you have. And you can have less of those people because all the data is already collected for you. But this is not the only reason to have a net tracker, especially when it comes to optimization and creating rules for campaign automation. The biggest reason is this. Please write in chat or raise your hands, people who are visitors in this webinar who actively use Google Ads and maybe browse through their suggestions daily. Okay, we have a few. Thank you. I guess you noticed that all those suggestions revolve around one very basic goal. Google and any traffic source cares about your ad spend with them. So all of the optimization done on the traffic source level is biased towards the goals of the traffic source, and their goal to get possibly all your advertising budgets in one place. Them. They care about it because that's how they make money. Now, for ad trackers, especially for those ad trackers that don't charge based on your ad spend, the goal is to perform as expected. So basically using ad tracker makes your goals aligned with optimization tools because, for example, for us at RedTrack, honestly, we don't care if you spend more or less in Google, Facebook, or Ref Content. What we care is that you get meaningful results and you scale up your campaigns. That's good for us and that's good for you. And also, since we're not aligned with any of the traffic sources, although we do partnerships with many of them, we can integrate other tools to benefit you along the process, like we did with Fraud Score. So now that you have very good and professional fraud detection built in within RedTrack. While, again, like I said, traffic sources have good optimization, especially big ones like Google or Facebook. And if it is the only source you're using, you don't need ad trackers. unless a couple of you need to stitch that funnel. But if you want to optimize your campaigns across multiple traffic sources with overall end goal to get better results, irrelevant of whether you spend money in Google, Facebook, Bing, Ref Content, ExoClick, elsewhere, then ad trackers are your friends, because due to our nature, we are not biased towards your spend with a particular traffic source. Guys, any questions so far? Because you might have those questions. If not, we'll go on. Okay, good. No questions. Let's move on. So why nobody talked about automation and ad trackers before recently, maybe before last year? Because there was no technology that would allow to work with huge amounts of advertising campaign data, basically storing each individual impression, click, conversion discretely, not aggregated, and doing this at reasonable cost. So let's talk what we at RedTrack solved as a technology to allow this automation. We did a couple of things. I can say even one. We can process big data real time without sampling, and we can handle it cost effectively. So that's why we basically built our pricing as to the number of trackable events that you have. And we also even do those for clicks and not for conversions, for example. So what we're doing next is we are implementing machine learning. We say here artificial intelligence because we think maybe somewhere down the road, 3 years from now, we'll have a chance to implement real AI. But for now, it's just a simple machine learning rules to help you with decision making and to help you with creating and managing the data. Because right now, whatever system you go, you have a simple question in your head. What was the best performing campaign yesterday? Or which placements gave me the highest return on investment? And then you start building reports, digging up data. However, you can just type these questions in or say them to your voice assistant, and we can get you back the data. And that's, we hope, will also come live this year. These are two things we're working on right now. Besides that, we did something we were talking about. We decided that our mission for the near future is to automate recurrent tasks in daily activities of media buyers. We want to make them happy, because if we can automate those 80% of recurrent tasks that give 20% of meaningful results, media buyers will have more times for creation, innovation, maybe just more free time, and they will enjoy their lives. What we did in order to achieve this first step in automating recurrent tasks, we did very, very basic things. We integrated via API with 20 traffic sources starting from Google and Facebook. And we allow our users to create simple rules and set up KPIs that will trigger either pausing campaigns, pausing ads, blacklisting placements, or changing creatives if rules are not met. We also have some automated traffic distribution for A/B testing, but that's not important. What important is that we automatically update costs from those traffic sources that don't pass them with clicks or impressions. And we allow you to create rules to pause campaigns, blacklist placements, or pause creatives based on their performance, and coming soon based on their quality. And that's it. And this is, like you mentioned before, is close to 80% of things you are doing on a daily basis. Let's go back to this initial slide. Campaign optimization, blacklist placements, post-stop campaigns, post creatives. So now you can do it automatically for tracked campaigns in RedTrack. What we're working on right now, besides all those fancy machine learning, is just to make sure that we have more criteria to set up the rules, and we have more integrated traffic sources to manage campaigns across not initial 20, but maybe 30, 40, 50 traffic sources that we can integrate with. And that's it. This actually concludes our webinar. Our goal was to share our vision on automation and media buying, on why artificial intelligence is more a buzzword than any actual technology used in media buying, and what we did to make the life of media buyers easier. And now we still have plenty of time, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So no questions? Was that simple and clear? Like, you can wave your hand, everything was clear and we don't have any questions. It will also be a good hint for me. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Now, like I said, the purpose of it is just to maybe bust a very simple catchphrase about artificial intelligence, because there is no artificial intelligence in media buying, and show that what matters is automating basic things in your daily activities and helping you do those things faster, better, easier, preferably on your rules, but without your involvement, only with your monitoring. If any of you would like to see how it works in actions, but I guess you've seen it already, we did a demo for you. If not, you can reach out to us. We'll be happy to show you those tools, get your feedback. I know, and I can tell you, we have quite a few people using the rules, sharing feedback, suggestions, sometimes bugs with us. We appreciate this a lot because it helps us get better. So if you have any feedback, you can reach out to me in here, or you can just write to RedTrack, and we'll be very happy to help. And since I do not see any questions, I would like to say thank you very much. I'll stay here just for a couple more minutes in case you have more questions, and then we'll say the webinar is over. Thank you for your attention. I see people leaving the room. Good. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy your day, and we'll think of more interesting topics to share next time. Okay. Bye, guys.